Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at a relatively new product, and that is Saultaura, if that's how you pronounce it. So kind of not Saultaura, however you want to call it or pronounce it, by TCC Magic and Wayne Fox. This, if you're a restaurant or a coffee shop worker, an impromptu magic worker, this is something that you're definitely going to want to see more about. So let me roll the intro and dive straight into this effect. Perfect, so you decided to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Saultaura. So what is this effect? This effect is essentially a vanishing of sugar or salt, or it could even be a transposition of sugar or salt, or it can be a disappearance and an apparition in a completely impossible location of the sugar or salt, or it could be a kind of a sealed and restored effect as well. So it's a bunch of different things that you can do with this. Now, before you raise your pitchforks, before you go to the comments, before you do anything, I will try my best to include a performance video of this. If there is one, I will include it right here. If there isn't, well, I will tell you what the effect is. The effect is essentially, the main effect is that you take some salt, you place it on the table into a small pile, and you do kind of a joke. You say, look, so what we're going to do is, in a moment, I'm going to take the cup. You take a cup that's not transparent for technical reasons. You place it over the pile of salt, and you say, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the salt vanish under your hands, okay? And it's very important that, I can't blow or wipe the salt away. And you can see that the cup is doing that, right? And obviously, if there wasn't a cup, I could literally just tell you, look at the elephant, and then you would rub, obviously, so that everyone can see all of the salt, put it back, and then I say, look, it's vanished. That's something that I could definitely do, and maybe you'd fall for that trap. But to avoid that, we'll do it again. So we're going to place some salt. Here, boom, you'll see a pile of salt. You place the cup, and you say, look, you know what? I don't even want to be the one holding the cup. You hold your fingers and whatever on the cup. And then you say, look, what we're going to do is now we'll do this. And it's vanished. Believe it or not, lift the cup, look in the cup. The salt is gone. Do you know where the salt is? And then it could literally reappear everywhere. It could appear under their chair. It could appear under the tablecloth. It could appear on the shelf. It could appear under another glass that's on the other side of the table. Wherever you want, it could appear. You can also do this with the sugar packet. So you open the sugar packet, one of them, you do the gag, and then you open a second sugar packet, you do it, you throw the sugar packet on the table, you do the effect, and you say, boom, it's gone. Do you know where it went? And went back inside of the sugar packet that's sitting right next to you that we ripped and poured. But you can actually see that the sugar packet is not actually ripped either. It is completely restored with all of the contents inside. You can also do it like that, whether it's sugar or salt. That is essentially what the effect is, okay? And there's also performances of it at the Blackpool Convention if it interests you to go watch that. So now that you know that, let's get into where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what you get. So you can buy this directly from TCC Magic or any of the associate dealers. This will set you back 60 USD, which is around 88 to 90 Canadian dollars. And what you'll get with your purchase is this box, typical TCC packaging, really, really good packaging. And inside you'll get everything except for the salt or sugar that you need to perform this effect. I'll show you a few of the things, but not all. One of the things that you're going to get is, of course, your instructional video at the back of this card. So you will get an around 30-minute instructional video with Wayne Fox that goes over a lot of handling, goes over an easy handling, a bit of more advanced handling, and the bonus handling, which is the signed sugar packet. And he goes over all the moves, all the setup, all the reasoning, everything that you need to do in order to complete this effect. You will then also get one of these. So this is a dispenser. This is a dispenser for either your salt or your sugar, whichever one you want to perform, so that you can carry your salt and sugar with it there. You're also going to get one of these, which is a brush for the effect. You're going to get one of these as well to clean up the gimmick. Then you're also going to be getting your main gimmick inside of here, which is where he recommends you carry your gimmick and where I'm going to carry mine. If I end up performing this, you'll get this. It's a very sturdy, protective, layered packaging that will protect your Saultaura gimmick. It comes in this, so you're going to get your gimmick as well. And then you're also going to get an extra thing that will allow you to achieve the effect. And that extra thing I will not be showing you, similarly to the gimmick. Now, I know a lot of people will say, but show us the gimmick. It's not something that we'll be able to make at home anyway, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel comfortable doing that, because if ever the creators and people come after me, it's my channel that gets taken down. It's not anyone else's. So I will not be showing you the gimmick, etc. But trust me on my words, it looks fantastic. If you've seen the performing videos of it, you probably don't even know the gimmick that's in play because of how deceptive it is. It's really, really well made. It's high quality. So that's everything that you get with your purchase. Now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is this to perform? In order to perform this, it is not excruciatingly difficult, but there are some moves, some specific beats, and some specific points of misdirection that you will need to practice. That's not to say that you have to, practice an entire script. You have to, stay in your room locked in for hours in order to do this. No, but it will require a bit of pantomime. It will require a bit of scripting. It will require a bit of, I wouldn't say palming, but a bit of manipulation in order to achieve it. So there's quite a few things going on, and a lot of them go on in moments of misdirection or relaxation, which is really nice, but you'll still have to practice some of that in order for the effect to be achieved to its fullest. So really, even he tells you that practice, stay maybe 10-15 minutes max. It won't take you much more to practice the 2 or 3 moves that you need to do, and you'll be good. So difficulty wise, it is not beginner, but it's not far from that. If you've been in Magic for just a bit, you'll be good to go in order to perform the effect, okay? In terms of practicality, so in order to perform this, you will need a few things and some specific scenarios. So one, you'll need your salt dispenser, you'll need your extra gimmick, and you'll need your special gimmick in the tin. So all of that, fits in a few pockets. It's great, but you will need to carry all that. Then you also need to hope that there are cups or glasses. So again, that's why I mentioned that if you're a coffee shop worker, restaurant worker, a bar worker, this will be supernatural for you because there's cups everywhere. But if you're not, then this won't be the best. And also the cups can't be transparent. So keep that in mind. It cannot be transparent cups. So if you work in scenarios where you don't have you only have transparent cups, or you have no cups, then you'll probably have to bring your own, or you'll have to find something else to do it with. You could definitely do it, in my opinion, with a napkin. I do think he doesn't talk about this in the tutorial, which I feel is a missed opportunity, but you can definitely do this underneath a napkin, right? I don't see the issue with that. You can easily do it underneath a napkin or underneath a bowl or underneath a plate. It's just, maybe it passed over my head, but that should have been mentioned in the tutorial, because you don't necessarily need the cup, even though it's best performed with the cup in order for the easiest handling and everything. It's nice to have it that way, but you can definitely find alternatives, okay? So except for that, you have everything that you need in just one pocket. Moving on, in terms of angles, the angles are 360 except for one specific move that is 180. So for a few seconds in the routine, it is strictly a 180 effect. Okay, so do keep that in mind. In terms of reset, the reset of the routine, depending on what you're doing, is instant. For most of the routines, it is an instant reset. However, if you're doing kind of the vanish and reappearing salt in another location, once the salt appears in that location, if you keep making it appear there all night, well, people are probably going to catch on, okay? So that one does take a bit more setup, but all the rest, if you do the sugar packet routine, as long as you have sugar packets, you'll be able to do it nonstop. It's resets instantly if you have enough sugar packets with you for that. So the reset is relatively quickly. In terms of a table, I don't think I need to tell you, because it is pretty much obvious you are required to have a table in order to do this. And inspectability wise, pretty much everything can be inspected here during the routine. Okay? Now let's get into where do you perform. So this is something that will work fantastic for restaurant workers. If you're someone that does restaurant, this is a holy grail for you. This is fantastic. Yes, it does require a bit of table space, but not that much. and it will slay people if you do this in a restaurant. It's gonna work perfectly. So do keep that in mind, okay? If you're a coffee shop worker, fantastic. If you're a bar worker, fantastic. If you're a close-up magicians, I'm sure if you do table hopping or cocktails, you'll find an opportunity to do this 100%. But you know your crowd best and you know where you perform your tricks best. So you'll have to decide by yourself whether this is good for your performing venues, okay? Now that I've said all of that, let's get into the positives and negatives of this. First, let's get into the negatives. One of the negatives is that you'll have to carry around a few things with you, and you'll need to hope you have a napkin or a recipient or whatever you want to do to cover the pile of salt or sugar at your disposal, which means that this won't be performable as an everyday carry, as you know, they kind of say it's an everyday carry. It's probably not. You know, I've never been to an event where people, you know, the type of events I do is not really somewhere where this effect would fly, and it's not really my persona per se, but this effect still works in a lot of settings, but do keep in mind it does have some restrictions. And lastly is one of the gimmicks that comes with this will not fit some people, right? So whether you're a kid, it probably won't fit you. If you're an adult, it may fit you, but it may not fit you in another way. Again, I don't want to say too much. If you know classic salt tricks, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's what I mean with this, is you do have to keep that in mind as well. Except for that, it is brilliantly designed. It's a unique and fun routine. It really is unique. If you perform cocktail bars, restaurant, this is a slayer. This will be probably one of your go-to effects. It will play so well. It's different to what most people do. It's not cards. It's not coins. It's, you know, it's unique. It's organic. The props are fantastic. The main gimmick is phenomenally made. You'll probably never need to buy another one if you're careful, or refresh it. And it's a visual, fun piece of magic. So having said all of that, would I recommend this, and what do I give it out of 10? If you're someone that does see a use of this, buy it. If you do restaurants, coffee shops, bars, buy it. You will love it. If you don't do any of those scenarios, but you still see some ways that you could use it, get it. You will not be disappointed. However, if you're like me and you're just more into mentalism and more serious card match, you'll probably not perform this, but it's still something that's really nice to have for those occasions where you will perform it, because I do think it is a fun routine. So having said all of this, what do I rate it out of 10? I'm giving Saultaura a 7.75 on 10. The closest I could give it to something that I would be performing, because I know that I'm going to be performing this at some point, but it's not something that I'm going to be doing at most of my gigs. But I know I will do it, and I know I'll probably enjoy it. So that is what I'm giving Saultaura by Wayne Fox and TCC out of 10. If you have any additional questions, please leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next video. Have a good one, and bye-bye.